Hey, this is AverageJohn here, coming at you with another 10 comics that I have read this week. Now, of course, a lot of new comics have always come out, or new to me anyway, every week. So, but I think you also take a look at these 10 comics. Now, I put up 5 there because I only have one hand available, so I'm reading my script on my phone. But, now, for all those 10 comics, of course, there can only be one guaranteed read. That is my working title. And I also try to pick out my favorite quote from each one. Now I got a range of them from like Dark Horse, DC, and all that stuff. So you know what? Let's just get into it. Now first one I have is Punchline. Punchline number 1, volume 1. It's made in 2021, and this one's going on my wall definitely. There's a girl called Alexis K. She's on her senior high school trip. They're visiting a news station, one that's taken over by the Joker, who wants to send a message to all of Gotham. What's the message? I had to be there to know, silly. But the first kid wasn't doing a great job delivering it. Stage fright, it gets the best of us, don't worry. So he got drafted. Then Alexis K got her chance. Did she do it? Again, had to be there. But the days pass by. After she delivers the message, she's alive, and she starts a podcast hunting the Joker, understanding the Joker, and all that. It's episodes of how the Joker poisoned the water reservoir of Gotham, how the Joker uses Arkham Asylum like a revolving door, just goes in and out basically as he pleases, and how the Joker uses Joker Venom to try and make his laughing fish, and try to copyright them, and he tried to sell them himself. There's one problem though. Joker always fails because of Batman. The Joker's only fixated on Gotham and not the whole world. Maybe this Alexis K can help him finish this one big joke. Maybe she can help him with the punchline. Why just make one city laugh when you can make the whole world laugh? That's the end of that one. Next, we have Dept.h by Dark Horse Comics. Yeah, I call this stuff too, but there is a period right there. So Dept.h by Dark Horse Comics. Now this one is interesting. I want to look this up. It has some interesting animation. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I would definitely call that interesting in a good way. Interesting in a good way. Definitely not bad. I love it. It's got my award for the best animation that I've seen this week. But that's Dept.h number 6. So, But there's an underwater base. There's water flooding into that base. I've got HELM, HELM, which stands for Human Emergency Life Mask. Mia having thoughts, memories of her father. Her father? Who killed him? Gotta get through this. Gotta do. Get out. Now, there's 2 guys, Hugh and Aaron, talking about keeping a man in a water-filled room. Jerome, he is infected with an unknown virus. He gets out. Maya helps him. disgusted at those that would keep him in. Next, gas tanks are cracked. Gotta fix those, gotta seal the valves, but the whole room is on fire. Need to get the foam. Can't find foam, there's a metal suit that Mia's dad worked on. It has an H on it. That H stands for, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Hukalani, which is Mia's mother's Hawaiian name. The gas is dealt with, but the companies still say the base is unsafe and to abort, which gives Maya only days to solve the mystery of her father's murder. Someone murdered her father while on the base. Who was it and why? And one of the many flashbacks she has, her father says the quote of this issue, most of the important discoveries are the results of accidents. I thought that was really cool. Next, we have a pretty cool series, a really cool series that I mess with a lot. It starts off with Capable #1. It's by Jonathan Hedrick and Co. Greco. I found advertisements for Greco, but I haven't seen it on the thing. But yeah. Anyway, Capable is about this disabled high schooler named Derek, who's in a wheelchair, and his best friend Harry, who has crutches. They go through their typical high school day. They get bullied, have awkward moments with girls, etc. Eventually, there's this 9.9 earthquake that happens in Florida that mysteriously grants disabled people powers. Now Derek can stand without the use of his wheelchair or anything, and he can run really fast. So can Harry. Harry doesn't need his crutches anymore. Massive fire is happening, and Derek wants to stop it because of where Aaron lives, his crush. He doesn't stop it, but he does go inside to make sure everyone is out. Everyone is out except for her cat, Dr. Pickles. So he grabs her and goes to school. Turns out that the school is canceled that day. But everyone is there receiving the news in person. Everyone, including Aaron. Harry and Derek find out that there's another huge fire in the city. So they go there and help out. Derek finds out that they aren't invincible because Harry doesn't escape the building before it collapses. Harry was a hero. And one of the policemen, they look at Derek and they're like, Harry's a hero. Not all people are using their powers for good. And that was the end of that story. This story, the title is very long. It's like a tongue twister, but I'll say it. It's called The Multiversity, the Society of Superheroes, the Conquerors, the Counter Worlds, #1, Volume 1, May 2014, by DC. Now, there's this man who can live forever named Immortal Man. Another man, kind of the opposite, called Fatal Savage. The Mortal Man is a man who joins up with Dr. Fate, Lena, Al Pratt, the Almighty Adam, and Abin Sur, who is the Green Lantern, who is a Green Lantern, not the Green Lantern. And they're trying to work against an event where alternative Earth will crash onto the regular Earth. And 5 years pass and there's this war going on between Vandal Savage and everyone else, basically. Why? Because he wants to. He is an immortal and wants to kill entire civilizations, so news of another Earth combining with this one is excellent to him. And the only way to kill an immortal is with a piece of a falling star. Mortal Man realizes this. He doesn't want to kill Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage was expecting this. He knows everyone is going to die. Maybe there's a god of destruction on the way. Maybe he planned to die. Next, in the Capable series, we got Capable number 2. And we return. Well, this one's 2020, I should say. Yeah. We return to Derek at Harry's funeral. He died after running into a collapsing building trying to save people. And it hurts him. It hurts him a little worse to see Scott and his gang of bullies wearing a heart for Harry shirts. Not shorts. Shirts. They never really cared for him. In fact, they were bullying Harry and Derek a few days ago. Why are they doing this? Who knows, but Derek strips them completely. But revengeful, that's accepted. Aaron's with them, gives him a smooch for doing that. That lightens his day. Of course, he's thinking about what Harry's reaction would be. He'd say, this is the quote of the comic. Put away that porter before you poke somebody's eye out. And this is great advice, by the way. Little side note here, it's great advice. It could save a life, you know? Side note over. There's a bank robbery going on. Someone with big arms, a war veteran, dishonorably discharged, goes by the name of Michael Smitty Smith. He lost his arms in the war. And since he's been dishonorably discharged, he can't afford practically anything. So he's robbing the place. And the earthquake that gave everyone their powers gave him his arms back. They're really big, they're really swole. Derek is able to talk him out of robbing the place and distracts him long enough for the police to arrest him. Derek's dad is worried about him and worried they might end up like Harry. Derek assures him that he's not and then walks out. Aaron gets home with a really bad migraine, strange feelings in her eyes. She opens her eyes, laser eyes, tears a roof through her uncle's, tears a hole through her uncle's roof. And that's that story. She doesn't tear a roof, she tears a hole in the roof. And next, we have Psycho Bonkers number 2 by Aspen. This was made in 2015. So, Shine, the main driver, main character, has overcome her past. She's lost everything. The race that she's in is all that matters now. Just her and a robot pal, Gabbo. Well, the other racers take Gabbo, her only friend left, and it's by her old friend that's nicknamed Stepchild. A friend she met shortly after her father passed away, when she was sent to this foster home called the Bonk City Youth Home Academy, where she makes friends such as Pancake, Odin, and Stepchild. And she can run them off the road, which needs her car to trust her. And that's the quote of the issue, where the car goes, trust emotion initiated. She trusts her, yes. And she runs them off the road, like she said she would. Then she goes to Payne's Peak. And with everything in hand, with the car intact, with Gabbo in the car, she turns a corner and then she catches her breath. Sees a mysterious figure walking up to her. Grandpappy? Her grandpa? And that ends that story. And next, we have Warrior Nun Dora, #1 by Avatar. Now, this is kind of like the show that's on Netflix. It's the same universe, but it's a different character they're focusing on. And they got other stories based on other characters, and we get run-ins with the characters that are in the show. But Dora is an all-out troubled teenager. Sneaking out, doing drugs, getting kicked out of school, dating a girl. Complete rebel. He gets kicked out of school and her parents send her to a Catholic school, a church. Dora refuses to conform. Dora sneaks out of her class, roams around the church she's in. She finds a kind of a warrior nun class. She's not supposed to be there. Sister Anya is trying to escort her out until she passes out, and another being is seeing through the angel eyes. And you can see the Warrior Nun show on Netflix, but it comes with a few more stories. I got Warrior Nun Vault #1, released in 1999, has been remastered. Now this is New York City, where there's an underground Nazi regime, trashing Windows 95 and wanting to revive Hitler. It's focused more on the first Warrior Nun, Arilla. How she becomes trustful of a demon named Lilith. Nazis later just attack New York City with a big-ass spider mech. Arilla and Lilith deal with it though, and Lilith flies Arilla to the top where her control pad is. She then uses a CD with some code on it that deactivates the robot and saves the day. I don't know why it's called Bolt, but this is a fun story. There's one more other story. It's Warrior Nun Frenzy #1. Part 1 or 2 is another 20-year-old story, so it's another one from 1999. And this story is made at the same time as Bolt. It's unfinished, however. Still looks really beautiful. It's why I think comics get remasters like video games and movies and stuff, because the art is very, very beautiful. But anyway, the story is short. Just a man casting our son to a snowy mountain, saying stuff like, "And I stand upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rising out of the sea, with 10 horns, 7 heads, and upon its horns 10 diadems, and upon its head names of blasphemy. And if anyone not found written in the book of life, he was cast into the lake of fire." And I saw another beast rise out of the earth, and it had 2 horns like a lamb, and spake like a dragon. Cast his son out, completely naked, into the snowy mountain. Now part 2 of that, 20 years later, the boy is now a preacher at a St. Thomas's church. and then a demon appears at the church, makes it disappear. In the United States, Sister Shannon and Mother Superior watch it as it blips off the map. The same is happening to other churches around the world. Now, Sister Shannon and Mother Superior are in the show. That's cool. But that's pretty much the end of that story. And we have key poll number 3. This was made in 2021 by Jonathan Hedrick and Company. There's this couple. Sorry, I just slid. There's this couple, Mary and Scott. Not Scott the bully, but it's his parents arguing. About what? I don't know. Scott is in the other room. I just lost my place, sorry. This guy's in the other room just trying his best to ignore him and tossing a baseball. Baseball starts to levitate, though. How? Scott has powers. But he's never been disabled or anything. How did he get powers? But his powers are to zap things pretty much and make them slowed. So not completely stopped, but slowed. Slow down to a crawl. He zaps his parents, and they get slowed and he just walks out. But meanwhile, Derek is just walking on train tracks, mad as hell because he can't join the track and field team. And they offer him a spot as a coach, but he doesn't want to be a coach no more. He wants to be a player. And the coach doesn't think that it'd be fair, as he knows about his speed and everything, so. And he knows that he'd win every race. So he's just like, no. And he's not on the team, so he's mad. He's walking on railroads, train tracks. And he sees someone. He sees a body, someone about to jump. Without missing a beat, he runs and saves her. Aaron? Is it Aaron? It was Aaron. Aaron was about to commit. The migraines he's getting are really severe. Maybe there's medication for that. Maybe they can start a support group or a club for questions like these to help all these disabled people get used to their powers and their ableness. No, they depart, but not before kissing, of course. Next day, Scott invites his friends to skip class with him. He wants to show them something. A new power, a new gift. He takes them to the car dump where he gets out a gun, forces Jerry to shoot Tyler. And Jerry doesn't want to, but Jerry eventually does so. But Scott slows down the bullet. Impressive, especially since no one died. Again, how did he get his powers, though? It's thought to only have happened to physically disabled people. Well, Scott has mental illness. Maybe his ADHD counted. He goes back home and his parents are still slowed down. Derek gets back home and that night, looking mom didn't tell his dad about track and field. His dad says to quote the issue, "It's hard for us to wait and let things happen on their own." And patient in the hospital, patient 242, a lonely quadriplegic, escaped. And that's the end of that story. Next we have Sea Devils #1 by Tangent. This was made in 1997. Otherwise known as Devils in the Deep. Now there's something evil in the seed trench. Something bad. Maybe that's why the fish aren't buying so much. In the Gulf of Mexico near Shoutout, at the sunken city of Macon, Georgia. Shoutout is where a bunch of sea creatures live called sea devils. They're like regular fish, but evolved. Like with languages and tactics and everything. It's amazing. Having a Congress and little government and stuff, but you really only have one leader. The almighty Ocean Master. All these teenage sea devils. Redfin, who is the son of the Ocean Master. Angel, Moray, Thrasher, and Grouper all go out to the human world some nights just with kicks. And like to see how far they can push things. It's not very hard because humans don't take the sea devils that well. They've been doing this for quite a while. In fact, one is taking a relationship with a rebellious girl named JJ, who's the mayor's daughter. So that's Redfin who goes with JJ. They go up, all the skies and whatnot, have a few laughs, go to the house they were using to hide. JJ gets all snuggly with Redfin. Maria is jealous because she loves Redfin and thinks he deserves better, so she opens the door, revealing to the whole world that JJ has a relationship with Redfin. A bunch of people go up in arms about this. The sea devils are forced to retreat. When they land back down, however, something mysterious comes out of the trench. You see, the sea devils have been dumping the radioactive waste that has been dumped on them. They've been dumping it in a deeper trench. They thought that would be okay, but it wasn't, because now they have to deal with this big ass fish monster called the Leviathan. They swim back to the surface and make a deal with the mayor. And they get some gravity bombs and some pulse rifles, along with public acknowledgement of their help. They'll get rid of the Leviathan. The mayor agrees, but is secretly wanting to go back on his word. Good thing the Joker, not that Joker, but also yes, that Joker, recorded everything that he said. Now he has a little doll, he pulls the string, and the doll is just like, you got a deal. Weapons are requested and public acknowledgement if you succeed. And he's got a lot of dolls. So he's like, you can have this one, destroy that one, who cares? I have a lot of them. And he can't go back on his word. And the pulse rifles are there because they have excellent underwater capabilities. And they do succeed, but not before Ocean Master and Redfin are crushed by a falling tower, and Thrasher sacrifices himself. And he's followed by the Leviathan, exploding a gravity bomb in his stomach, sending him back into the trench. Turns out that the Ocean Master is not dead, but he is dying. Redfin, also not dead, was disguised as him basically after the tower incident, and has taken the real Ocean Master to some old caves to lie low for a little while. He wants to pass on the title of Ocean Master, but his dad dies, so he doesn't know what to do. That's the end of that. And last but not least, capable Number 4. It's made in 2021. Now, I say Jonathan Hedrick and Company. That's really because I didn't really find the company name. I think it's Greco or comicswellspring.com. I don't know. But I do wish a shout out to everyone who worked on the project. Now, sorry if I mispronounced their name. But like Gino Cosmianto, Pariah Pillai, Jerome Gagnon, Beth Sips, and Steve Ekstrom, along with Jonathan Hedrick. I also extend a heavy and hearty thanks to all those that make comics, to all those that are just in the entertainment industry and everything. You guys rock. And I abide by the rule that tracers, sorry, I screwed that up. I reversed. And I abide by the rule that inkers are not tracers. They are inherent to the book. And if you don't get that reference, see Chasing Amy, which I believe is on HBO Max. Anyway, I'm not sure if I showed it, so here it is. So, okay, on to the story. So Scott in the last issue has powers now. Powers, he can slow things down. He now wants to use them for his own personal gains. And he invites Derek to the gym. Of course, Derek goes and he automatically gets locked in. Scott immediately stops him to slow him down. He's super fast, so now he's at regular speed. Scott beats him up with some brass knuckles and leaves. Where was Erin? Well, she was helping Natalie go to the guidance office because Scott did some not good things to her the night before. Scott and the gang want money. They don't want to rob the bank. Why do that? That's too hard. Plus the big armed guy just tried to do that the other day. There's too many cameras, the police are near, and so are all these super able people now. Why not just hit a transport truck? And that's exactly what they do. Scott slows down one tire. The truck instantly flips over. Now they're super rich, they got all the money. It turns out, as a driver was Derek's dad. Incredibly injured, he goes straight to the hospital because they couldn't do a tracheotomy. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but they couldn't put a trach in. They couldn't put a trach in out in public. And it looks like it might be too late. Derek is playing with his dad not to die. Of course, that's the quote of the comic. Please don't die. Don't leave me too. Yeah, saying don't leave me too. You know, he lost his mother already. He doesn't want him to go either. And Scott goes back to his house with his goons. Count up all the money they got. They talk about getting PS7s and what they're going to do with all that money. Scott starts to lecture them about how they're going to be stupid with the money. But they just suddenly disappeared, like poof, gone. There's the mysterious guy outside. The Invalid. That's where that story ends. And that's 10 comic books. Spoiler zone ended, by the way. It's 10 comics that I've read this week. And don't worry, because if you love people, I have a story the next time I do 10 comics. hopefully in like 2 weeks I'll do Fable first. Then, yeah. Because I got one more story, one more side story based on it. They have 4 right now plus the side story, so 5 issues. But what was your favorite story? What was your favorite comic? I know mine was Cave Pool, of course. It's every disabled person's wet dream, basically, to just wake up, have no disability, have superpowers. It's great, and it shows that there's a lot more stories to tell. There's infinitely more stories to tell. You don't have to go searching for aliens and stuff. There's a lot you can do right here. I just love it. No, and I know I said this earlier this week, but I'm saying again, of course, recording this video early. Me in Lancaster tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But this video will still be coming up Saturday at 2 p.m. So no need to worry about that. Video is still coming Saturday and Monday this time at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah. But you might see some pictures of me on vacation. It's not a vacation, it's more of a trip, but I mean, you know what I mean. But if you want to see them, if you want to see the pictures, if you want to see anything I do, you can always check me out on my socials. My Instagram, which is at TRIPL3XX Mayhem. My Twitter is at Real AverageJohn. My Facebook is at Official AverageJohn. Like how I say, don't worry if you can't understand me here. You can always find them in the description down below. Don't forget to like this video, comment on this video, and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. So anyway, nothing else to say. I hope you all have a nice week. Hope you all have a nice day. And I'll see you on the next video. Ciao.